And that breaking news tonight, the urgent search on for the suspects in a deadly mass shooting that broke out at a children's birthday party over the weekend in San Joaquin County. The investigation now in its third day as we're learning more about those victims tonight. Video from Live Copter 3 showing the space that is quiet and empty now where 15 people were shot during a party Saturday night. Many of those people were children. 4 of those victims were killed.
Video from the ground shows bullet holes and evidence markers throughout that space. Today we heard from the mother of the 2-year-old whose birthday celebration was targeted about the horror of her party turning into a tragic night for dozens of families.
Everybody was getting ready to cut the cake, like I said, and I actually thought it was my balloons popping. It was gunshots. Try not to be in public all the time with your kids because anything can happen and bullet do not have a name. I believe that if you guys ever have a birthday party, just have a birthday party indoors and don't be outside.
Tonight, as the manhunt for those shooters continues, there was a call for people to come forward with any information. Thank you for joining us tonight for our News at 6. I'm Edie Lambert.
I'm Gold Dart. The reward for that information has now gone up, a combined of $75,000 in total. And remember, if you give information here that leads to an arrest, you can stay anonymous. So here's what we know so far. The sheriff says that the shooting was before 6 o'clock Saturday as people were filling a banquet hall off of Lucille Avenue. More than 100 people had been celebrating that child's birthday party. We know the people killed were 8 years old, 9 years old, as well as 14 and 21 years old. Investigators have yet to release the names of those killed, but the 14-year-old has been identified as Amari Peterson. We have his picture as well. Family and friends of the 21-year-old victim have identified him as Susano Archuleta, the mother who hosted that birthday party, talking about how deeply personal these losses all are.
I don't know what happened. I'm just so shocked and lost, and I'm lost of words. I'm speechless, and I just want to say I'm sorry to all the mothers out there that lost their kids at my birthday party. Daughter's dad, niece, both his nieces passed away. I'm sorry. My sister actually got shot. My cousin got shot. My son's friend got shot. My 3 of my friends got shot. My friend's baby dad got shot and got killed.
So again, right now there is a combined $75,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. The FBI is offering $50,000, and you can find their tip page online. Stockton Crime Stoppers is offering $25,000, and you can see the phone number there. It is 209-946-0600, and you can remain anonymous.
All right, we put together some live team coverage on this story tonight with a lot of folks grieving, as well as other people calling for action as they're asking questions now. Beginning our coverage with KCRA 3's Anahita Jafari. And Anahita, any indication here law enforcement is any closer to finding out who did this?
Well, unfortunately, Golston, the answer to that question is we don't have that information at this time. We did ask the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office that earlier today, and they were very unclear with the direction that this investigation is going as far as who those suspects are. Now we're hitting that 48-hour mark since that deadly shooting happened. We're just steps away from that banquet hall here on Lucille Avenue. We've been out here all day, and we have not seen deputies. We haven't seen patrol cars since we got here earlier. We did want to give you a look at what it looks like out here tonight. Take a look over my shoulder. You can see some of those candles that have been laying out on the ground, and flowers, and even a teddy bear I saw earlier. This collection of items just continuing to grow daily. Last night when we were out here, we saw half as much. We also wanted to show you a little bit to the right the garage door to the banquet hall that has just been littered with bullet holes. We're going to zoom in and you can see those white evidence markers with letters by each bullet hole. It is a very somber feeling here today with grief just hanging over the city. We spoke with people in businesses across the street that are all still shaken by the shooting, saying how devastating it is to hear about children killed and others hurt so close to where they work. Earlier we spoke with the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, who does tell us a new detail about the victims that are still alive.
There are children. The ages range, I believe, anywhere from 8 up to around 30 years old. I'm not going to give specific ages on this, but we do know that there have been some schools, Stockton Unified, Lodi Unified, even I believe Modesto. Their staff have reached out to see if these victims might be students at their schools, and they're offering grief support for anybody who may, been related or affected by this incident.
And back out here live as we continue to ask questions to the Sheriff's Office. We'll work on getting you some answers to some of those questions still left unanswered. Out here in Stockton, I'm Anahita Jafari, KCRA 3 News.
So quick question, Anahita. What are some of the other answers people are looking for right now from law enforcement?
Well, we know a big question that's been circling in the community has been about those suspects, whether it's one or more, who exactly they are, any details on those suspects, a description maybe of what they might look like. We did ask the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office that earlier today in our live interview at noon, and unfortunately, there is no response at this time. They said they're just still looking over footage and working on getting us some information on that.
Yeah, we know there's a lot of fear out there as people who would shoot, target children are still on the run. So that's understandable. Anahita, thank you.
Well, tonight we're learning more about the victims of the shooting this weekend.
A former Stockton mayor identified one of those who was shot and survived as a well-known community leader. KCRA 3's Leanne Denier has more from downtown Stockton.
We spent today talking with friends and family members of those injured in the shooting, as well as those who have loved ones who lost their lives, many telling us that they're still trying to figure out their next steps. We did learn today from former Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs that the woman on this mural here in downtown Stockton is among the injured, Jasmine Delafosse.
She's been such a beacon of light, of love, of an example of leadership in the city, focusing on reducing violence, focusing on investing in young people, focusing us on making sure that we give every kid in Stockton an opportunity.
He described her as a mentee and a friend.
Oftentimes when we think about gun violence, we think it only happens to gang members. We think it only happens to folks who are involved in lifestyles of violence, and that's partly true. But Jasmine was no gang member. Jasmine was not involved in any violence. Jasmine was literally a community leader.
He told us that while she is still in the hospital, he is relieved her injuries were not fatal.
This is a community problem. It's not just a problem concentrated in bad people, but it's a problem that the whole community will be impacted by. And that's why we have to treat it with seriousness, because any one of us could have been at a 2-year-old birthday party.
In Stockton, Leanne Denier, KCRA 3 News.
And there's this. Stockton's current mayor, Christina Fugazi, is now calling for the creation of a task force in response to the mass shooting. The mayor wants to include the Justice Department, FBI, and the ATF. She says that it would have 2 goals. One is to capture those responsible for the shooting and prosecute them. The mayor says that she wants to identify how young people are getting automatic weapons. The mayor also adding this in a statement saying, quote, "Yes, we appreciate your thoughts and prayers, and yes, long-term policy reforms are better, but we are not living in the long term. Stockton needs help now."
The San Joaquin County Sheriff Patrick Witherow said he raced home from his family's Thanksgiving celebration in Oregon as soon as he heard the news. Today, NBC Nightly News asked him about the impact of such a violent attack targeting children.
It's just horrific. You know, I've been doing this since 1987 with this department, and you know, you never get used to something like that. You think you're prepared for it. You think you've seen it all, and then you walk onto a scene like this, and there are children laying there, and it still just shocks the conscience, and you just, as a human being, as a father, as a grandfather now, to see this occur at you know, a birthday party like you and I and all of us have attended with our own families. It's just unthinkable here in our country, but we've had other tragedies like this throughout our nation's history, and we'll get through this, and we'll be here for the families. And I can guarantee in San Joaquin County, we will hunt down the animals that did this, and we will hold them accountable, and we will make sure that no one ever comes to our county and ever tries something like this again.
And again, the sheriff emphasized he needs people to help with information to find those suspects.
We're also checking in with federal and state leaders as well as authorities now investigate the case.
KCRA 3 Political Director Ashley Zavala is here now. So you've been getting a whole range of reactions here.
Right, but not many specifics. I did reach out to the Trump administration and Governor Gavin Newsom's office to see if they had anything more to share on their response and how they're trying to help. Governor Gavin Newsom's spokesman told me in a statement, quote, "The state is working closely with local leaders to help with the investigation and catch those responsible for this heinous incident. We will let you know if we have anything else to add." I also spoke with Democratic Congressman Josh Harder, who represents Stockton in the U.S. House of Representatives. Here's what he had to say. Do you think that more should have been done in your area to prevent this?
Clearly, more should have been done. I think I'm grateful for what has been done, but there's a lot of work that we have to make sure that we're fighting forward. This is a shocking tragedy, but sadly, this is something our community has experienced time and time again. And this is a reminder of that we still have work to do to make sure that Stockton is a city that's safe for all families. We can never take a vacation or a break on public safety. And we need to make sure that we're focusing on those key elements, on prevention, trying to make sure that we're helping folks get out of violence before tragedy like this strikes, and also that we are fighting to break apart gangs and focusing on activity. We don't know what prompted this particular shooting quite yet. I don't want to be premature before this investigation concludes, but it seems very clear that this was a targeted incident, and gangs have been a problem in Stockton for a while. And so I think we need a renewed gun violence task force, a renewed gang task force to try to make sure that we're getting illegal guns off the streets and gang members behind bars.
I also reached out to the Trump administration, specifically the U.S. Department of Justice and Attorney General Pam Bondi, to see if they had anything to say. We are still waiting to hear back at this hour.
All right, Ashley, thanks for that part of our coverage. We're going to continue to follow the latest developments for you on air and online. We ask you to download our KCRA 3 app and turn on push notifications. You'll get new information on the case as it comes in.